So the district deputy grand master is at the meeting, and then the grand master shows up. Find out all about it. Welcome back to Squarely on the Level. My name is Darren Kellerman, and I work in association with the Grand Lodge of Kansas. Today we're recording in Wichita at the Kansas Masonic Home, KMH. Right now I'm standing in the lodge hall here, the Kansas Masonic Home. Kansas Masonic Home Lodge 450 meets here, Albert Pike 303, Pyramid Lodge, as well as several other lodges meet here. Big thank you to Herbie Wright for setting up a lodge meeting here today for Justice Lodge number 457, which I attended. Great meeting, and just wanted to cover some things today about that meeting that I saw that maybe can help you in your lodge, as well as the big surprise that came during that meeting. Justice Lodge, like many lodges in Kansas, works very efficiently, using some of the things that Grand Lodge has been talking about for several years, the biggest of which is the consent agenda. And if your lodge doesn't use the consent agenda, you really need to consider it. It makes things go so much quicker, and you can get right to what you want to do. And for Justice Lodge, that is talking about charitable activities and Masonic education. But it was great. They had a consent agenda, which was fairly long. It has the standard bills on there, standard communications on there, other just normal things for a lodge. There are some communications which you must read. You can't put them on the consent agenda. But then with one vote, that all those things are approved and put into the minutes just like that. So it takes most lodges 10, 15, sometimes 20 minutes as they discuss the light bill or the insurance stuff. Use the consent agenda, just bam, it's done. And you're past it and on to talking about things you want to talk about. One of the things that got brought up today was the fundraising, and that's a big deal for a lot of lodges. Right now we have the lodge raffle car going on, that Camaro. Oh, sweet. If you weren't at the annual communication, check out the Grand Lodge Facebook page for some of the pictures on that. Same car that Guy Fieri on Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives drove for several years. Beautiful car. That's the same exact car. It's the one he drove. Beautiful Camaro. Wonderful. Ticket sales are already going crazy on that. $20 raffle ticket, your lodge gets to keep $15 of that. And do you want to know how you can double that money? If you give that money to charity and you apply for matching funds from the Kansas Masonic Foundation, they double it. So that $15 that your lodge receives from that $20 raffle ticket becomes $30. What an awesome deal. What a great way to promote that when you're selling raffle tickets. If you tell people of every $20 ticket you buy, $30 goes to charity, how does that work? I mean, you just tell them that your lodge is matching the $15 up to $1,000. That's the maximum that you can receive from the Masonic Foundation in matching funds. But it has to go to charitable activities or organizations. You can't use it for putting the lodge treasury. It doesn't work that way. It has to be for charitable endeavors. And not a lot of lodges are using this, or they're only using a portion of it. All you got to do is raise $1,000. And with this raffle ticket sales, that should be easy just like that. But you can do it from a multitude of things, whether it's your fish fry or other sales type events, but or take $1,000 out of the treasury if your lodge can afford it. But the Masonic Foundation will match that up to $1,000. So again, the raffle things, it seems like a no-brainer to me. That's what Justice Lodge that I attended today was doing. So their promotion is you buy a $20 raffle ticket from us, we're giving $30 to our chosen charity. Wow, that is great. Some other stuff that they were doing, utilizing the Lodge of Research. And what a great deal that is. This is one of those lodges that focuses on Masonic education, and a lot of lodges in Kansas are wanting to do that, and they struggle with that. You know what, we'll cover that in another episode about some things that your lodge can do to bring in Masonic education, or the sources that are out there right now that are available to you to use for Masonic education, because that's a struggle for a lot of us, is we want to do Masonic education, but what do I do? I don't know what to talk about, Darren. Well, I can help you with that. And yes, it may involve you getting up and talking, and I can help you with topics to do that. Not necessarily me personally, but I can tell you some places to go and look or things like that. And you're gonna go, oh, okay, I think I already knew that. So today, I heard Jose Marrero. He was sent as a speaker from the Kansas Lodge of Research. The Lodge Master contacted Director Alex Powers and says, we'd like a speaker for our meeting today. And Director Powers sent Jose Marrero down to speak. And, well, here's Jose. So what brings you here to Wichita today?
Well, I actually was invited by Justice Lodge number 457 to speak on the topic of Masonic interest, and I decided to utilize Esoterica, the book by Albert Pike, which was later on produced by Altrudo Audios to be publicized in 2005, which contains a lot of information that deals with Masonic symbolism of the Blue Lodges. The reason I wanted to talk about Esoterica is because, to me, Esoterica was a teaser. When I read it, it made me feel like, wow, there's more to Masonry and symbolism than what I was just told in the degree work. And he is the way that I find that gives me a general idea as to what a symbol is for somebody, but what he actually understands, and then he puts some facts in there to help you understand it better. So it entices me to look more. So every time I think about a symbol and I see a symbol, then I always want to find out what is it that it means to me.
Why should Masons belong to Kansas Lodge of Research? What do you get out of Lodge of Research?
Well, that's a very simple question to answer. The reality is the Kansas Lodge of Research has so much information available to us as Masons. If we just go to their site and do searches on speeches, on books, on symbolism, whatever is in your mind, whatever you want to know, there's something in there that somebody has either researched before or a book that may give you more information in case you want to continue educating yourself on the subject. So I see it as a way for us as Masons who have that itch to learn more, as a way to receive more information. It's available, it's free. I don't even see why somebody would even try to access it for information. And then, of course, you have other individuals like me or Brother Merrick, for example, that has given speeches in the past before. He has done research that can actually help you and provide information to your lodge in case they ever need somebody to speak on a specific subject. I think that anybody who is desirous of learning about Masonry altogether and has the will to be able to stand in front of people and talk about those subjects can be able to speak and become a member of Lodge of Research. All it has to be is that desire.
So, great presentation by Brother Jose Marrero. He drove, had to be three and a half hours. He is clear up in the northeast corner of the state. He drove all the way to Wichita just to present that. Did it on his own dime. The lodge tried to give him an honorarium and he turned it down, so the lodge is giving the honorarium to the Kansas Lodge of Research for the Speakers Fund. So, wow, just totally wow. And your lodge can do that. Just have to contact Director Powers at the Kansas Lodge of Research and get something set up. There's somebody close to you that would love to come and give Masonic education. You just have to send the email, make that connection. If you don't know who to talk to, just send me an email. Put comment down below if you want, but squarelylevel@kansasmason.org, and I'll help you coordinate that with the Kansas Lodge of Research. So each week I seem to work in at kansasmason.org. That's the go-to spot for almost everything Kansas Freemasonry. In last week's episode, we also talked about the Kansas Masonic Foundation website, as well as the Kansas Lodge of Research website, which all three of those great places to go. Are there others out there? Certainly, but those are the big three here in Kansas. I talk about leaving comments down below. I talk about emailing me or some other people. But the reality is, most people don't see this. Shameless plug, hit the like button if you like what you see today. Hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. But the reality is, most people don't see this show. Why? It's not because they're not YouTubers. It's because they don't know how to use a computer. That's just the reality. With the older, whatever that means, demographic of Freemasons worldwide, and especially here in North America, a lot of them aren't computer literate. That's not a bad thing, it's just the way it is. But there is an area deputy in Area 9 who's got an idea to maybe help give some solutions to that. So, Randy?
I seen this need back when I was district deputy with some of my lodges when we was going to electronic communications. So what my goal is to have an area meeting, and it's on May 11th, it's in Paola, and we're going to have a set up and have a basic computer class. One of my brothers has access to a bunch of laptop computers that he's going to loan us for the day, and we're going to start in with Computer 101 basically. Even start how, if you don't know how to turn one on, you don't know how to get to a website or something like that, we're going to go through all that, just basic computer stuff, talk a little bit about setting up an email account or how to access an email account. And if you have to go to the local library to access a computer, we're going to show you how to set up that email account using the local library computer. And then the afternoon session, we're going to go through the Grand Lodge website. Most Worshipful Tracy Bloom is going to be on hand to help us through that. And then we're also, Bob Shively is going to be there from the Kansas Masonic Foundation to go through the Kansas Masonic Foundation's website. And we're just going to have a fun day of computer stuff, some fellowship, and hopefully it'll be a learning experience for all of us. And even though you may be computer literate, I'm hoping maybe somebody will walk away with something out of this class. And again, it's at Paola, and it's at the fire station, which is 2 blocks east of the square. And my wife is fixing lunch, so if anybody could give us an RSVP as far as whose amount of people going to be there, so she can prepare for that, we'd appreciate it. And I can be reached on my cell phone, 913-731-8301. My email address is randycornelius512@gmail.com. So I hope to see you all there.
Wow, what a great deal. If you, or I'm guessing probably not you since you're watching the show, you know a brother who's just like that doesn't even know how to turn the computer on, doesn't have email, get him to Paola if you're close by. Paola's up in the, I won't say northeast, but it's almost it's east central part of the state. If you're close by there, let Randy know you're coming. This is a great deal. And I talked to the area deputy up in the northwest corner of the state, and he's wanting Randy to bring the show out there. And I heard that at the annual communication, they were talking about it. He says, hey, if it goes well over there, would you be willing to bring that on the road? And the answer was yes. They weren't sure how they're going to work it with computers and things like that, but the answer was quickly yes, because that's what we do. We help each other. We're talking about Masons spread the statewide apart. I mean, it's about as far as they get, border to border, the long way. If it helps the Masons out in your area, I'm wanting to come, he said. Getting them into the technology of today, that is just amazing. So if you're over on the eastern side of the state, and you're free that day, make the reservation, make the call. Notice he didn't mention a cost because there's not one. He just wants to be able to get brothers connected, to feel more comfortable working around a computer. And then they're going to take them through kansasmason.org. We're going to show them the Kansas Masonic Foundation site, and they're going to be exposed to all sorts of stuff that hopefully you already are. And the more they do that, the better it is for everybody. So hopefully you can attend that. If you got any questions, make sure that you email Randy. So here at the meeting today, district deputy's getting ready to speak. Actually, Brother Jose is in the middle of his presentation. And Justice Lodge, in case you didn't know, is a police lodge, police affinity lodge. They travel around the state and such. So right in the middle of the meeting, the door right back there, that one, thunder knock on the door, rattled the inside knocker, the whole thing. And watching the members of this lodge just kind of have that, yeah, that's what it's like, guys, when you knock on the door of a bad guy. That's the reaction, probably, like, oh my goodness. Yeah, there's probably only one guy in the state that has a knock like that. And he just did the cop knock on a cop lodge. So it was kind of humorous. Of course, we didn't know that. And they do the thing, and oh, it's the Grand Master here. And that just always presents an interesting scenario because they didn't know he was coming. I didn't know he was coming. I had no knowledge. So what a great joy. The 150th Grand Master of Kansas, Dale Morrow, showing up unannounced at a lodge meeting. I know he showed up unannounced the other day and participated in degree work. Could you imagine that? Showing up at a guy's first degree, and then he gave a lecture. Wow, that was great. But he shows up here. He had been doing a meeting here at the Masonic Home, as it turns out, and they got out early, so he just put on his jacket, tie, and regalia, and shows up along with 2 Grand Lodge officers and sat through the meeting. The master says, "Do you have any remarks?" He says, "No, he was just here to attend." When the district deputy Grand Master gets up to give his presentation, he asks the Grand Master, "Would you like to present?" And the Grand Master says, "No, I'm not here to do that. I want to hear you speak." And District Deputy Grand Master Mark Reeder did a great job. Wow. Usually when the boss is around, people get nervous, but wow, great job. The lodge officers, when they were the Grand Master gave very brief remarks at the ending, just saying it was a pleasure to be here at the lodge and everything. Very humble Grand Master. The lodge did officially receive him, and he said this was the first lodge that had officially received him, which they did a great job doing it. And if you don't know how to receive the Grand Master, it's in the manual. It's available online, kansasmason.org. See, shameless plug there. But did a great job. The Grand Master stayed after the meeting, spoke with the members. Turns out he's a person just like me and you. Who'd have thunk that? And just a great meeting overall. District Deputy giving out his phone number, his email, telling us if we had any questions, concerns, anything to contact him. And the Grand Master did the same thing too. Just totally amazing. The lodge meeting seemed to go very fast-paced. Consent agenda, talking about charity, Masonic education, District Deputy official visit, Grand Master surprise visit. Wow. Guys, your lodge meeting does not have to be something you dread going to or don't go to very often. It can be an exciting event. Whether you have a meal, don't have a meal, it doesn't really matter. You have to get that hook in and want to come. You have to give members a reason to come to lodge. And it's not just to hear about paying the bills. That's a part of it, so they're gonna have to hear that. But there's things you can do to minimize that. The secretaries love to talk, and that's fine because they need to talk sometimes. But we can help minimize that with a consent agenda and a structured agenda altogether. So that's it for this week's episode of Squarely on the Level. Thank you for tuning in. Don't forget, if you liked what you saw, make sure you hit that like button. And if you haven't already, go over and hit that subscribe button and the notification button. Punch it as well, because anytime we upload new content, you'll be automatically notified. A lot of people out there saying they're learning things they didn't know. If there's something that you want to know about, just put it in the comment section below so I can cover it for you and your lodge, because that's how this works. Otherwise, I'm just going to talk about what I want to talk about. But what I want to talk about is what you want to know. Until next time, I'm Darren Kellerman. Keep it squarely on the level. Oh, hey, how are you? That's what I'm going to do. Wow. Gonna get your good side there. I love this radiator popping in the background. So thanks for being here today, Jose. But do you really think I could be a speaker for the Lodge of Research?
Well, I mean, we really want people to stay awake.
So, in this course, will you be showing them how to get on YouTube and watch the show?
Actually, Darren, we want people to stay awake during this class.
Wow. Cut right there. We're going to cut right there. Yeah, this is a horrible ending.